This documentary is rated R. The Barbary Pirates were a group of pirates who attacked ports, took captives as slaves, and plundered merchant ships. They operated out of the northern coast of Africa, known as the Barbary Coast. By the early 19th century, they were sponsored by the Arab rulers of Morocco, Algiers, Tunis, and Tripoli, otherwise known as the Barbary States. The pirates were so prominent that by the late 1700s, most nations paid tribute to ensure that merchant shipping could proceed without being violently attacked. The pirates spared no one and attacked anyone who crossed their path. This included the United States. The pirates seized American ships and held the crews for ransom. America continued to pay the ransom as they prepared for war. As tensions grew, this ultimately led to the first true foreign affair since the United States became a country.
Through abundant and persistent raiding and salvaging of merchant and trading ships alike, the Barbary Pirates' reputation grew to be a force not to be reckoned with. Many countries, along with America, paid tribute to the pirates in order to receive grace from their malice. America had no need to pay this tribute to the Barbary Pirates due to the protection from the British Navy. With George Washington's signing in of the Declaration of Independence, America was no longer under the protection of the British Navy. The Barbary Pirates made it clear why paying a tribute for their grace was a necessity for anyone that wanted to be involved in trading near the Mediterranean Sea. The Barbary States acted quickly as Dey Muhammad of Algiers declared war on the United States and captured several American ships. America, being a newly founded country with a weak Confederate government, had no navy to defend themselves, along with not nearly enough funds to pay tribute to the Barbary States. In an unsuccessful attempt to build a coalition of small naval units in order to fight against Dey Muhammad, taking advantage of the United States being vulnerable, the U.S. knew they needed to turn to a greater force to deal with Muhammad. The Kingdom of Portugal was also at war with Algiers, and kept Algerian ships from crossing the Straits of Gibraltar. For this reason alone, U.S. merchant ships remained safe from the dreadful malice of the Barbary States while trading in the Atlantic Ocean for the time being.
In 1793, a truce between Algeria and Portugal was implemented, leaving the U.S. ships up for grabs. This truce came to the U.S. as a great indication to negotiate treaties and begin to defend themselves against the Barbary States.
Tripoli was surprised that the U.S. was granted a base of operations for its fleet by the Italian King of Naples. Promptly, the strong, newly built U.S. Navy occupied its fort, and from there prepared an assault on mainland Tripoli and Tripoli's fleet. The first major action occurred when a U.S. 26-gun schooner encountered a 14-gun Barbary corsair ship and was destroyed in a one-sided fight, the Barbary corsair ship being destroyed. From its Sicilian base, the superior U.S. Navy dominated Tripoli in sea battles. Tripoli had completely underestimated the U.S. Navy. They had no idea they had built so many large frigates. Tripoli did not have enough ships to compete with the U.S. for naval superiority. Many of the ships Tripoli had did not contain as many guns as the U.S. ships and were destroyed in large-scale fights. Previously, when going to war with France and Spain, Tripoli was alongside its fellow Barbary nations and the Ottoman protectors, but against the United States, it was alone. In 1802, the U.S. saw many small victories at sea alongside its partner in the war, Sweden, who had similar issues with Tripoli and had joined the U.S. in fighting with them. By 1803, the port of Tripoli was completely blockaded by the Allied Navy. However, one U.S. frigate, the Philadelphia, ran aground during the blockade on a reef and was quickly captured by fast Tripolitanian ships despite U.S. efforts. The U.S. could not allow the capture of one of its ships and on a daring nighttime raid, a company of Marines quickly stormed the Philadelphia and killed its Tripolitanian guards. Seeing no way to escape with his ship intact, the Marines rigged the ship to explode and burn and sailed away in the manner they had arrived, just barely before the Philadelphia burst into flames. Even the renowned British Admiral Nelson remarked on this raid as one of the most daring raids of all time. In 1804, the U.S. Navy attempted to storm Tripoli harbor, sending fire ships in an attempt to burn the Tripolitanian fleet. They were destroyed before they even reached their target. The Second Battle of Tripoli Harbor was still quite significant, and more Tripolitanian ships were destroyed. The decisive battle of the war occurred later in 1804 when a company of Marines landed ashore Tripoli's coast and, accompanied by 500 European and Arab mercenaries, captured an inland Tripolitanian town called Derna. This was the first time the U.S. flag was raised on foreign soil. The battle and capture of Derna pushed the Bey of Tripoli to negotiate peace with the U.S., fearing a continued advance to the capital and complete destruction of its fleet. Final peace terms specified the United States paying for the ransom of all citizens captured by Tripoli since the start of their piratical activities against the United States, the end of the United States blockade on Tripoli, and an end to all Tripolitanian pirate activities towards the United States. One might say the terms were light, but the United States feared continued war might weaken the U.S., leaving it open to invasion from other powers such as Great Britain. The U.S., by good planning and insight, was ready to act quickly and decisively to achieve victory in its first foreign war. The Barbary Wars were the first true instances of what we would call modern-day foreign affairs. They showed the American government the need for a strong navy and led to the assembling of the most powerful navy in the world. The wars also led to the founding of the Marines. It gave the nation a chance to stand up for itself and was the first time America showed the world their true strength. Jefferson epitomized this by explaining America needs to go to war with these people because they were attacking not only American ships, but America's dignity. The Barbary Wars often go overlooked, but they undoubtedly set the tempo for the international strength America is known for today.
The ramifications stemming from the Barbary Wars were imperative in the forming of the young United States government. The United States proved to itself, and the rest of the world, that they were ready to become an international power not 30 years after they were founded. The war strengthened the United States Navy and paved the way for all foreign affairs to follow. All in all, the Barbary Wars, though overlooked, played a massive role in American history, and the effects are still felt today.